Hello everybody and welcome to the Football Fix, a new YouTube channel that gives you your weekly fix of everything football. In today's first video we're going to be doing a pre-season transfer roundup with just about a week to go to the start of the new Premiership season. With that in mind, let's start straight away with Arsenal and their main signing of Lacazette for 52 million from Lyon. And they also got in Kolasinac on a free, but the main question is the man in our picture there, Sanchez, is he going to be a player much longer? Wenger says he's going to see out the last year of his contract. Who knows? Going on to our next team, Bournemouth. They signed Nathan Ake from Chelsea for around about 20 million. A good bit of business. He's going to get lots of game time there and he looked good for them last season. But I think the better bit of business was getting Jermaine Defoe on a free transfer for Sunderland. His goals are going to help Bournemouth, I think, stay up for another year. And then coming on to our first newly promoted team of Brighton. Matthew Ryan is their main signing, the Australian keeper brought from Valencia for £6 million. They've done lots of loan deals, but I think they might struggle. I'm going to do a predictions video about where I think every team will end up by the end of the season. That's going to be the next video on this channel. Next team, Burnley, brought Jack Cork for 10 million, and they've brought in players such as Phil Bardsley, Jonathan Walters and Charlie Taylor from Leeds, but they've lost Michael Keane, who we'll get onto in a bit. I think that's going to be a big loss for them. So yeah, we'll get onto that in a bit. The next team though, Chelsea. They've brought in Morata for 70 million. Is he going to replace Costa in the long run? Is he going to play more games than Costa? Is Costa going to go? Is he going to score? Is he going to be worth his price tag? Bakayoko from Monaco for 40 million, replacing Matic, who we'll get onto in a bit, but he is injured at the minute, Bakayoko. And then Rudiger from Roma for around about the same price, I think, 34 million. Is he going to be a good central defensive partnership for Cahill? Crystal Palace, our next team, with main signing being their new manager, Frank de Boer, coming from Ajax and his recent spell at Inter Milan. Crystal Palace haven't been that busy in the transfer window. They've only brought in Rijderveld from Ajax for 8 million. Lots of teams interested in this youngster, but who knows, he's unproven in the main leagues. Everton have been busy. They've brought back Wayne Rooney in that deal with, I think it's got to be involved with Lukaku. We'll get into Lukaku later. But as well as Rooney, they've got in Pickford for 30 million, a British record for a goalkeeper. Decent keeper. Is he going to be able to keep it up this year? Then Michael Keane for 30 million from Burnley, a very reliable central defender. Recently got his England debut. I think that's a good bit of business. And finally, they brought in Davy Klaassen from Ajax for about 24.5 million. Looks good for Ajax, but lots of players look good in the Dutch league and then come to the Premiership and don't really perform. Huddersfield, main bit of business they've done is brought in Tom Ince from Derby, a very decent player. He's looked okay. They've brought in other players such as Malone, Williams, Steve Mounier and Deportier from Porto. Again, I think it's going to be a tricky season for them. Leicester City next. Harry Maguire, the main signing for 17 million, but then they've brought in Jakupovic as well from Hull. Vincent Iborra from Seville for 12.5 million, and at time of recording as well, they've been linked with Iheanacho for 25 million from Man City, with Man City wanting a buyback clause of 50 million for the lad. Liverpool have been quite quiet really. They've bought Mo Salah for 34 million. It looks a very good signing in pre-season. Will they be signing anybody else? I'm not sure. Of course, they've signed Robertson for 10 million from Hull, which again I think is a very decent signing. Reliable, but the main question is Coutinho going to still be there with the Neymar transfer saga that's going on at the minute? Then we have got Man City. Where do we start? Let's start with Ederson from Benfica for 34 million. Looked good in the Champions League. Is he going to make it in the Premier League? Then we've got Bernardo Silva for £42 million from Monaco. They've been strengthening up the back half of their team really. Bernardo Silva, a very good creative player though. Kyle Walker, the next signing for 45 million from Spurs. Very surprised Spurs let him go, as they've not really replaced him. And then the strange signing, I think, out of all of them, Danilo from Real Madrid. Very strange signing, seeing as they've just splashed money out on Kyle Walker. And then the last defensive signing is Mendy from Monaco for £54 million. He's injured at the minute as well, so I don't think we'll see him at the start of the season. But they've strengthened up their defence no end. Then on screen at the minute we've got Lukaku for Man United, 90 million. Well, what more can I say? Matic for 40 million. what Mourinho's done is gone and strengthened up the centre of his team. He's gone Lukaku up front, Matic in midfield, and then Lindelof in defence from Benfica for about 30 million. So some decent signings. I think he wants to make one more possibly, but Man U could be a team to be reckoned with this season. Newcastle United, they made Atsu a permanent signing, which I think is a good bit of business for them. Very exciting player. And then their main bit of business was bringing in Jacob Murphy from Norwich. They've also brought in Javier Manquillo from, well, he's been on loan at Liverpool before and on loan at Sunderland. So they've done a little bit of business, more than the Southampton. They've obviously got their new manager, Pellegrino, former Liverpool player. I don't know really what to say about him, and they've only made one signing called Jan Bednark for 5 million, so could be tricky season for Southampton, I think. I'm not sure. Another team who could have a tricky season are Stoke, because they've lost players and only brought in a few. Main one being Kurt Zouma on loan from Chelsea. Then they've got Darren Fletcher on a free and Josh Tymon on a free. They've lost important players and not really recruited. They've lost Walters, they've lost Arnautovic, who we're going to get onto in a bit as well. Next up is Swansea, the main signing being Tammy Abraham. Did really well in the Championship for Bristol City. Was linked with quite a few Premier League clubs. They've got him on loan. The main outgoing is possibly Sigurdsson for 50 million to Everton. That's ongoing. The next team up, Tottenham. I've got a picture of their stadium because that's the only signing they're making at the minute, a new stadium. They haven't brought anybody in. They've lost Walker. They need to bring people in quickly. I know they've got a strong squad, but they need to invest in order to compete again, I think, this season. Watford are our next team. Their main signing being the man on screen there, Will Hughes from Derby for 8 million. They've also bought in Chabola from Chelsea, but it's a revolving door at Watford, and some players go in, lots of players go out, so expect to see a few more signings there. West Brom have signed Jay Rodriguez, their main signing, for 12 million from Southampton. I know Tony Pulis wants to make a few more signings, especially in defence. Ben Gibson's been talked about, and they've lost Darren Fletcher, which I think is a big loss for them. He was quite a central figure in that team. And then finally, West Ham. I think West Ham have been doing some good business this transfer window. They've brought in Zabaleta on a free from Man City. They've also raided Man City for Joe Hart on loan, who we'll see next. Again, they've done the same as Man United, strengthened up the central or 4 key positions in their team. Joe Hart, I think he'll have a good season in goal. They've also brought in Marko Arnautovic for 25 million, which I thought was a bit expensive, but when he plays well, Arnautovic, so he could be worth that price tag. And then I think the best bit of business all summer transfer window is this man on screen, Chicharito or Javier Hernandez, 60 million. What a snap for a quality striker. Who do you think's been the best signing of the transfer window? Comment below. And next video we are going to have a prediction about where I think each team will end up. This has been the Football Fix. Please like, subscribe and comment for more. See you guys later.